All right, we're on to problems 6 through 9 on review day number 10. And number 6 here says that f and g are continuous functions. The area from 2 to 6 of f is 5. The area from 6 to 2, so you had to see this right here. This means that if we flip it around, that's actually equal to -7. So then if we do from 2 to 6 of 3 of f plus g, that's going to be 3 times what f was plus the -7 for g. 15 minus 7 gives us 8, which is B. Okay, so had to see that little piece, but if you did that, then you're okay. For number 7 here, it says we have f as a twice differentiable function. The second derivative of f is less than 0. So what does that tell us? It tells us that f is concave down, and that's super important here. So I'm going to draw a concave down part here. The graph of y equal s of x, the secant line passing through the points 3, f of 3, so we'll call that 3 f of 3, okay, and 5 f of 5. Now, I really don't know if those are where those are at. I just know that f is concave down, so it really doesn't matter for this problem where I put them, but the secant line that goes through there looks like that. That's s of x, okay? The graph of y equal t of x is line tangent at 4. So somewhere in between there, we've got this tangent line. This is t of x, okay? Hitting up here at x equals 4. So which of the following is true? So we're going to move to 4.2. At 4.2, there's t of 4.2 on the tangent line. Here's f of 4.2, that's the actual function value. And then here's s of 4.2, the secant line. So what's true? The secant line value is smaller than the function, which is smaller than the tangent line, and that's c. So once you see it like that, yeah, it's not too hard, but understanding it at first was a little bit tricky, right? Next one gives us the number of insects are changing at a rate of p prime, and we want to know which of the following is true. So this one says at time 10, there are 2,840 there. Well, they started with an initial population of 40, and how did it change from 0 to 10 would be the integral of p prime. So you put this on your calculator, and what spits out is 2,840. So you know that 1 is true, okay? At time 2, the number of insects is increasing at a rate. So this is p prime. So we put 10 in for p prime and calculate that out, and sure enough we get 360 for that, so 2 is correct. Okay. And once you get to there, you look at your choices, and really the only one that works is D, but just for posterity's sake, this is talking about the second derivative, so you take the derivative of this function, put 10 in, and sure enough you're going to get 18 for that too. So all 3 of them end up being true for that one. And then our last question here gives us a table of values, and it says that g is a function such that h of g of x equals x. Now notice that h and g kind of cancel each other, so what that means is h and g are inverses, are inverse functions. They didn't tell you that directly, but you're to assume that from this information right here. So once we see that, right away we go into this kind of setup, right? And when we do the inverse functions, we have a point that coordinates with each other, and at that point there are slopes of tangent lines that also relate to each other. So we want to know what g prime of 7 is, so that means 7 is the x value for g. So I put 7 in here. If 7 is the x value for g, that makes it the y value for h. Now I say, well, when did h equal 7? And h equaled 7 when x equaled 3. At that point, 3, 7, the slope of the tangent, the derivative, was 5. So the slope of our tangent line over here, the derivative of that would be the reciprocal, which is 1/5. Okay, so again, if you keep organized like this, these problems are pretty simple.